Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit from a deleted user who says, "My family seemed disappointed. I beat my illness. My little nephew confirmed my suspicions. I, male 47, was diagnosed with cancer about 6 months ago. I don't know what happened, but I was misdiagnosed. It wasn't malignant as the initial diagnosis. Anyway, I'm recovering, and I don't know why, but it felt like mum, female 73, and sister, female 35, weren't all glad about me recovering. I didn't make a fuss, but I told my girlfriend, female 38, about my observation. She told me not to worry and that they were probably still in shock. We were invited to my mum's house last Sunday, and that's when my nephew, male 12, was a bit angry and blurted out something about him thinking he was going to be rich soon because I was sick. It felt like a gut punch. I'm child-free, so I don't really know when people start being assholes, but it felt like he's still too young for that, so the next explanation is that he's heard the adults around him. I laughed and looked at my family. They pretended that they didn't hear. Only my girlfriend watched me in horror. I asked my nephew why he would think he would get rich when I have my girlfriend. He was confused. I saw my sister turn around at that announcement. My girlfriend spent the rest of the evening holding my hand, caressing it. Mum called the day after and she was dancing around the subject, trying to find out more. I never discussed my will with anyone, but what were they expecting? I've been with my girlfriend for 13 years. She's the love of my life and my family. What the fuck is going on? I'm changing my will, excluding my nephews who I thought I would leave some for. It's going to charity instead." And of course, we have an update to this post as well. Imagine a loved one having cancer and the first fucking thing you think of is the money you're going to get and what you can do with it. And I shouldn't be surprised really, because I've seen it time and time again on these subreddits where people are just absolutely awful to one another when money gets involved. But to be on the receiving end of that and finding out while sat there with your family at the same time and knowing what they've been doing behind your back, that must be just awful. Absolutely awful. And I feel very much like OP does in this, in that, the 12-year-old talking about a will, talking about inheritance, not something an average 12-year-old thinks about. And as I say, the children in our family, around similar ages to nephew in this, with the various family members passing away over the last couple of years, there's never been mentions of a will or inheritance or money at all. So nephew in this is clearly hearing this from someone else. And, it was pretty much confirmed at the end of that story there where it said mum called the day after and she was dancing around the subject, trying to find out more. And I just can't get over how devastating that feeling would be. Your family who from the sounds of it, and I'm just going by the story here, sounded like a relatively okay family that they got together on Sundays, they met up and had a good time. But then to find out this is going on behind your back, I got no words apart from I'm real sorry to hear that for you. And I can't blame you for wanting to change your will one bit. But Oliver Hart says, funeral director here. The things I've seen family do to other family members in the name of money literally haunt me. Can't say I'm particularly surprised. Lychee says, when money is involved, it's only then you know the levels of people's greed. It's good you know. Just a shame it's people who should be close. I've seen it loads and it never ceases to amaze me. Corfiz says, this is so awful. Your mother should have been devastated at the thought of losing you, not planning a luxury vacation. In your place, I'd consider marrying your girlfriend, just to make everything completely uncontestable. Screw them. Nadia says you might want to rethink your will about the rest of your family too. Sounds like they've been plotting about inheritance behind your back during the misdiagnosis. You might also want to leave them out of any medical or financial decisions. This is really heartbreaking for you, but I'm glad you got your girlfriend to lean on. Purplish Pink says, 1. Glad it was benign and not malignant. 2. The audacity of your sister and mother. Little ears are big pictures. I think 12 is still a bit young when it comes to inheritance and knowing what it entails. 3. If you're in a country where common law isn't a thing, which it sounds like you are, I would strongly suggest getting married. Like others posted, said elope and have her keep her name. Your family will then be in for the shock of the century should anything happen to you. And now with that, we're going to go on to OP's update to find out what happened next. The update says, so this blew up. I wasn't expecting that and I can't thank you enough. The message is loud and clear. Marry your girlfriend. In my defense, neither of us ever thought about it. We're happy and we've always seen each other as others' family. Unfortunately, that's probably not how the world sees us and it's sad. About the will. I'm guessing the majority of you are from the US, but where I'm from, as long as I don't have children, nobody can really contest a will. My mum would be the only person who could contest and it wouldn't work since children's inheritance right is protected by law and can't be willed away. I spent all night yesterday reading your comments with my girlfriend sleeping beside me. She woke up around 3 AM and smiled at me. God, I love her beautiful face. I just blurted out, "Will you marry me?" She smiled even more and said yes and then snuggled up in my arms. I was in heaven. In the morning, she asked me, "Did you propose yesterday?" With the biggest smile on her face, and I said yes. She said finally, with a twinkle in her eye, and then she kissed me. She told me that she was here when I felt ready to talk about my nephew. I don't have any social media, but my girlfriend does, and she shared that we are engaged. Mum called me 2 hours later to ask if it was a joke. She asked why now, and I didn't hold back. I told her that for the past 10 years or so, I've been treated as a cash cow for my sister and her family. Always expected to pay, and only the most expensive things. My sister even insinuated that her oldest son, male 14, is expecting a Porsche when he turns 18, and instead of acknowledging my generosity, they were disappointed that I didn't die. Mum started crying at this, swearing that it was all in my head. They are all so grateful and happy that I'm fine, but that I shouldn't forget that they are my real family. My girlfriend is still young and she should move on with her life should the worst happen, but that they'll always be my family. Mum said that girlfriend also has a career of her own and is childless, so she isn't in need. I might add that neither is my sister and her family. I told my mum that my girlfriend always been my family and now she's becoming my family on paper too. Mum started crying again and asked me if I'm planning to disinherit the boys now because of a stupid comment made by a child. And if I did disinherit them, it also meant that I would disinherit my girlfriend's niece. I told her that she should wait for me to die to find out, shouldn't she? She said there's no point in talking to me when I'm like this. She begged me not to do anything stupid and wished me good night. No congratulations, nothing. Now what's left is to find my girlfriend. No, my fiancé, an engagement ring. She's very simple and minimalistic. She wants something small and simple. Her only request is that I chose it. Please send any suggestions my way because I'm new to this business. I'll put some photos of what I found so far on my page since this sub doesn't allow sharing images. Tell me your opinion and give me your best rings. Damn, this got long. Sorry guys, and I'm not going to make another update, but thanks again for all the congratulations. It felt good to get the support and thank you for all the suggestions about the engagement rings. Since neither of us like attention, especially my fiancée, what a beautiful thing to call her, we are eloping. She was very happy when she suggested that and found out I wanted the same. Instead, when I'm fully recovered, we're taking a long vacation to the Maldives or Mexico. Right now, I don't wish for anything else. Now, what I don't get in the update is, the chance to apologize was there. I don't think it would have ever fixed things simply because, you're kind of waiting for someone to die to claim their money. I mean, that's just not a fixable thing, is it? But the opportunity was still there to say, look, I'm sorry, I really fucked up here and I messed up, I'm sorry, but didn't go down that path at all. Mum said, girlfriend's childless, she's not real family, she can move on with her life, but what about us? What about your family? It's just like, what the hell are you doing? But it does sound like Opie has a wonderful relationship with their fiancé now, and I wish them all the best for the future. And I got to say, to me, that is a definite no contact situation. Someone just wanting your money like that, because why would you want to subject yourself to that further? And as I always say, I know it's very easy for me to say, but I think it calls for it in this particular situation. But what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account who says, am I the arsehole for reporting my brother for child abandonment? So I, 25 female, usually work from home and frequently babysit my brothers, 31 male, and sister-in-law's kids. They have 3 kids, all between the ages of 4 to 7. My brother has a rather demanding job that I won't be revealing here as I don't think he'd want me to, and his wife is a nurse. So frequently they'll need me to babysit for them, and usually it is fine. My brother contacted me a few days ago and asked if I could babysit his kids for an upcoming weekend, as he and his wife would be 2 states away. Usually I would agree, but I had a trip planned with some friends to go to New York City, clear across the country from us, for a few days. I told him as such, but got upset and told me that my vacation could wait because whatever it was he had to go to was work related and extremely important, and that his wife was caring for her mother who had a stroke recently. I told him that I wouldn't be cancelling my plans as I needed a break from work, and he blew up and started yelling about how I shouldn't be tired because I just sit at home all day and don't have any kids, at which point I just hung up on him after telling him no once again. Fast forward to my trip and I'm hanging at the hotel with my girlfriends, and I check my phone and see a notification from 2 hours ago that there was movement detected at my front door. I check my camera and I'm just entirely fucking floored. There on my front porch were his kids, who apparently had been sitting there unsupervised for 2 whole hours. Of course, I flip out and call my brother and scream at him about this and ask where the fuck he was and why he would just leave them there when he knew I wouldn't be there. He then freaks out at me because I'm not at home where I was supposed to be. No, I wasn't. I told him I wouldn't be, and tells me that I've left his kids in a dangerous situation because he's 2 cities away from home. Turns out that after I hung up on him, he decided he would call my bluff and drop them off anyway. Then he just left without even checking to see if I was home. Now I'm extremely pissed off and worried sick about my nieces. So without anyone any of us could call to take care of them, I called the police and informed them of the situation and that there's no one even in the city to take care of them. Then I called my sister-in-law to tell her I had to call the police, and turns out she had no idea I wouldn't be there because my brother had lied to her. Of course, she's furious at him, and my brother is spamming me with texts that I'm going to get his kids taken away and that his wife won't talk to him. Overall, I'm just very angry and just as confused as what was going on in his head when he decided to just leave 3 kids all under the age of 8, all alone, and leave the fucking city. Then OP added in the comments saying, I don't really blame my sister-in-law. My brother flat out lied to her, and she had no reason to believe that he would pull a stunt like this, so she believed him. There was no one else to call. My sister-in-law was out of town taking care of her mother. I don't know any of my brother's friends, and all of my friends with a key to my place were with me in New York City. Our parents also don't live in the same state, so they couldn't take them either. It seems odd because this entire situation is bizarre. I can't give you an answer to half of these questions because I don't know what was going on in my idiot's brother's head when he pulled this shit. As for letting them inside, my brother is forgetful and loses his key to my house every damn week. Either that or he left them and drove off, so that when I opened my door, which I wasn't going to obviously, I'd have no choice but to babysit them. He knows my front camera alerts me to motion outside my door, so that may be why he didn't bother ringing the doorbell. As for whether or not anyone else saw them, I don't really know any of my neighbours, nor have I spoken to them about this. Now, I think to me this is a pretty simple one of not the arsehole. You were asked if you could take the kids, you said no, you had plans, your brother decided to call your bluff and drop the kids off on your doorstep. And this isn't the first time I've seen something like this happen in these subreddits. People just dropping children off on people's doorsteps so they can babysit. I mean, what goes through your head? So he chose to put his children in danger, and you were left with no choice because there's no other family members around or anyone to take the children or get there very quickly. So you done what you needed to do in that situation, and is protect the children. Simple as that to me. But Velnovel says, not the arsehole, what your brother did was so dangerous, reckless, spiteful, and idiotic. He was playing chicken with you, with his children's welfare. Father of the year. No way should anyone ever just drop their kids off at the doorstep and leave. I won't even do that for adult friends at their own houses. I always hang around to make sure they get inside. I feel bad for your sister-in-law that she may also have to deal with any fallout, but your brother absolutely needed a wake-up call from the cops. Tessa says, not the arsehole. He asked you, you said no repeatedly, he called your bluff. These poor kids. Hope brother and sister-in-law have good insurance, because the therapy sessions these kids will need to deal with this abandonment will not be cheap. A few hours won't be enough. Think about it, the kid's view. Mummy is at Granny's place, then Granny is sick. Mummy is not here for us. Daddy drops us off at Auntie's and drives away. He left us. Auntie doesn't open the door. Does not want us. Again, kid's view. I'm hungry, thirsty, tired, need to go to potty. It's cold, hot, dry or wet. I'm frightened. Where is everyone? There's a strange man or woman walking a scary dog. Why is police here? Where do they take us? Where is Mummy, Daddy, Auntie? Who is this lady asking us questions? CPS. Who is this lady tucking us in? Foster parent, emergency placement, etc., etc. He fears he will lose the kids and sister-in-law isn't speaking with him. He deserves it. Melmoth Milton says, yeah, your brother is 100% the arsehole here. You are not the arsehole. You were asked, you said no. These are not your children. You are not responsible for him. He had no right to do that. He abandoned his children. You did the right thing reporting him to child services. He was very wrong. You did what you had to do to protect those children. Don't agree to babysit anymore. He clearly thinks they are not his responsibility, and he needs to understand that his children are his responsibility no matter what. Osabear92 says you did the right thing by calling. Last thing your nieces needed was to be abducted by anyone who noticed them. Sweet giblets, not the arsehole. But your brother is, and he's absolutely in the hot seat. But going forward, you can't watch those girls for a while. At least not until all this gets figured out. At least for some time. Your brother is so entitled to your free time and energy that he put his kids in a dangerous situation out of spite. That's his fault, not yours. You gotta re-establish that boundary with him ASAP, or this will happen again. When you're only a town over and feel like you have to drive back. If he works so much, then he can pay for childcare when he has to leave. What an incredibly stupid thing for him to do. As a parent, I'm appalled. Make sure you communicate to sister-in-law every detail so she's aware her partner was the whole fault in this. Also to re-establish some communication with her, because now you can't trust your brother. Shame on him. If he had made better choices and not been such a careless, selfish jerk, this never would have happened. He put his kids in danger to prove a point. That's pretty extreme. Good luck, OP. And sorry to chuckle at the start of that comment, but the sweet giblets bit got to me. I've never heard that before. I might have to use that more often. Then OP's update came 2 weeks later, which says I couldn't post an update to the original subreddit because I realized people were following this account in hopes of an update about the situation. For the sake of my sister's privacy, I won't be going into depth, but the children were okay for anyone wondering. They are currently with my sister-in-law, who is currently staying elsewhere separately from my brother. A lot of people commented on the last post about how my brother's behavior didn't make any sense, and I couldn't really give you an answer because nothing about the situation was sensible to begin with, nor was this normal behavior for my brother. It was entirely out of left field for him, and prior to this, I would never have assumed he would do something like this. He was oftentimes busy with work, and so couldn't spend a lot of time with the girls, but when he could, he spent every second with them. He was very caring and conscientious when it came to them. However, it has recently came to light that my brother has been having some sudden onset mental health issues and seemed to be in some sort of manic state when this occurred. I don't know if my sister-in-law will continue her marriage to my brother, but we're looking into getting my brother some help and treatment. As of right now, he's in an institution, willingly, and when he gets out, we will be there to look after and support him. Thank you all for your well wishes and have a blessed day. And whilst the situation in general is an absolutely awful situation, especially for the kids, sister-in-law, OP, and the brother as well, from obviously what he's going through mentally, I am glad he's getting the help that he needs. The kids are okay from what it says in this post, and sister-in-law is okay. And whatever goes on from here, I really do wish them all the best for the future. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today, getting involved in the stories, your love, support and time, not just towards me, but towards the stories, the comments, the OPs. Everyone involved means the absolute world. So thank you so much. And if you do love a Reddit story, there is going to be a couple of playlists at the very end here that you can click on and it'll scroll through all the videos for you automatically. So whatever you're doing, and as always, don't forget to let me know what you're up to. Because I love to hear it. It will keep on scrolling through those videos for you. Anyway, I hope I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day.